Okay, so something a little bit in left field compared to what we've been talking about tonight. Google Stadia. Now, I know you didn't know a whole lot about this. Yes, yikes. Um, quite a few red flags here. It launched November 19th, so very recent, in the last 8 days from this recording. $130 standard price, the base edition. You do also get a, let's see here. I think it's a Founders Edition, and there's some kind of Premier Edition as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a subscription service, $10 a month, to be able to play the games online or to stream them. It's a streaming service as opposed to a cloud gaming service, so you can't even download all these games. But not to put like a damper or an umbrella over this, but before I get into more of the topics, what did you think from what you read?
Just from what I've read, definitely sounds like a crash and burn a little bit. Mostly from the false advertising, if you will.
Yeah, that was, I think, the biggest thing is just being dishonest.
Yeah, but also just in, I guess, the overall numbers. I mean, there's a few mixed reviews, I guess, but I think it can be, pretty confidently stated that it's not hitting like any big numbers. We'll just have to see going forward, honestly.
I don't know what they expected. It seems like they just threw this idea together because they wanted to get in on the whole streaming, just to throw a wrench in, which I think too many companies and people are doing nowadays. But with their weird YouTube commercials and, oh, you can save space, you don't have to have a console. I don't think anyone's complaining about like a console this size taking up their, unless you're living in a cardboard box, which you're definitely not doing with the high-speed internet you need to stream this anyway.
Yeah.
It's like 30 megabytes or 35 a second at minimum, and you're going through 16 gigs an hour. If you're playing at 4K, if you really want this 4K experience, that's what you're really paying for, and you're not getting it. Red Dead Redemption 2, that was only running at 1440p.
Yeah, and I think it just barely up to 60.
Barely up to 60, mostly 40, 45 FPS. I think that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty recent game in order, to get on there and get the specs up.
So, PS4 Pro, it upscales, which has been out, actually. I got that 2 years ago, Black Friday. I upgraded from my PS4. That can upscale it to 4K, but I kind of knew what I was getting, At the time, 2 years ago, it's fine. But now, when you're getting into advertising 4K and 60 FPS, those are some big, meaty numbers.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to deliver on 1440p. Okay, I get it. You're working out the kinks. It just now launched. It's still in the beta stage, kind of. But, you're getting most games that are barely running at, like, 1080p, 60 FPS. And the Xbox One can do native 4K. So if you're trying to be in the middle of like PS4 and Xbox One, that's one thing, but you're not even getting up to PS4, which can easily upscale it to 4K.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to offer this system that you say can and will, support these specifications, you need to have that at least minimum requirement for the games that come in. I mean, you can't just,
I think
cut corners, basically.
Part of the issue is entirely on their end because you're sending your data to a server and it's kind of transmitting it back to you. So I have high-speed internet, fiber optic, whatever. It's gigabyte internet.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need like a terabyte if you're, for 2 weeks worth, you're going through a terabyte of, for gaming. If you're a hardcore gamer doing this,
if you're getting this, you're expecting it.
Not only are you paying for the internet, but you're paying for the massive amounts of data you're using.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't you delivering on this as you launch? There's you could complain about the less than stellar game launch, which we'll get into in a minute, which includes Just Dance 2020. So if you wanted some 4K 60 FPS Just Dance 2020, you're gonna have to wait.
They're milking this.
But the specs of this, AMD GPU, AMD's made massive strides. It can probably handle something like this. 16 gigs of RAM. Obviously, it can multitask. It can do what it needs to. SSD built into it. Cloud storage. This is insane for a $130 deal. But they are gouging you at the subscription service.
Mm-hmm.
And the $60 games that you're still buying.
How much is the subscription again?
It's $10 a month.
Yeah, so
What's the need for the subscription if you're buying the games?
yeah, add that on top of the console, which isn't a terrible price, but they're not really providing, so you can go with that. And then buying the games, which are kind of exclusive on whether you can get digital or a hard copy. And then, like you were mentioning,
all digital, so you don't know. It's not even yours.
Yeah,
you're not owning these games that you're paying
no
$60
rights,
for.
Basically. And then on top of that, obviously, if you get this, you're gonna have the high-speed internet and data. So I mean, it's adding up a little bit there.
You need outside factors to halfway enjoy something that you're not even being promised, and
yeah.
I just think it's kind of a slap in the face to people that have supported this from day one. Even give it a chance. It has Chromecast Ultra built into it. All these cool things. Play on 720p, 60 FPS. It's fine. You don't. But it's like, what's the point? Why am I not?
System.
That's not. Yeah, I need something that sets it aside, sets it apart from the competitors. We have the games. To get into the games, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2. I guess the entire collection. We have Just Dance 2020, Kine, GYLT, whatever that is. Mortal Kombat 11, which was surprisingly a letdown at launch. Red Dead Redemption 2, which is great, but again, not 4K. Rise of the Tomb Raider, okay. Samurai Showdown, I've heard that's pretty good. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, okay. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so in my opinion, having 3 Tomb Raider titles probably wasn't their best idea, but I don't know if they had some kind of deal.
Should have been a bundle, yeah.
And Thumper, so I'm not too sure about any of these. None of these are exclusive on the Stadia. Yeah. Why didn't you get Google? Again, are you going to have a Google development team? That's going to make these games. Who's going to publish the games? Is it going to be Google itself?
With that amount of money, you should have maybe one first party at least.
You should consider having some kind of studio, which I don't think anyone might not have brought up.
I don't know.
So you need something to reel in the audience. Show us something different. Show us the 4K 60 gimmick. It's a very expensive gimmick.
Yeah.
So, 14... Oh, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say 14 more games coming at the end of the year, but, Ghost Recon, Metro Exodus, Wolfenstein, Watch Dogs Legion, Cyberpunk 2077, which is probably the most impressive thing, but again, that game itself is an 80 gigabyte installation or something. Doom Eternal. None of these are exclusives. That's the biggest letdown of this.
Yeah, I'm not going to just buy a completely new brand of gaming system, especially after the lies, and then just play the same games. I need a solid list of games that I could maybe get into, and some good, like you're saying, they need to have a dedicated branch for game development.
Another branch is the key. It's like something, competition's good, but when you have the same thing, you're oversaturating the market.
Yeah.
And eventually people, you might be out of touch after a while. Those commercials that you guys were putting out definitely were out of touch. They didn't really hit any notes with me, but again, it has work to do. I know a couple people, a couple YouTubers, Bob Wolfden. I know he enjoys it. And I think there's potential in it. I don't know if he enjoys it, but I think it's like the controller you need is also wired, and all this weird stuff. You can control Chromecast with this. It's really cool. So I don't know if there's going to be some kind of TV streaming thing with it as well, or like some ability to watch TV if it's going to be like a set-top box. But I just think everything being online, there's too many risks, not being able to download games like you can on Apple Arcade, which is available for $5 a month on something you already have. You can do it on your iPhone. I think you can use it on your Windows computer. I'm not too sure.
Your watch, your Apple Watch.
Your Apple Watch, play it on the go. They've already, they're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, I saw it. You have to have iOS 13, but.
They're being more innovative. That's an
innovative,
sure. Right off the bat, Apple, who they haven't really even delved into the gaming market. I know Google hasn't either, but Google should know just as much about this, if not more, than Apple.
Yeah,
because they control
Google's
more media.
Trying to penetrate Apple Arcade is just here we did something.
Here, yeah, $5 a month.
Yeah.
Here's some of the games. Here you go. A lot of them are exclusive. Play them on your iPad. Play them on your phone. Whatever.
But Google Stadia is trying to like put its foot down or something. Or like
it's trying to like stomp out the competition.
Yeah.
It's like this is not.
They have no competitive advantage.
None at all. They are on the low. It's like Anakin trying to hit Obi-Wan on the high ground. It's like it's not going to end well.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You were my brother. Anyway,
so
you were the chosen one.
With all that being said, do you think it has potential, and will it survive 1 year through 2020?
I'm really worried it won't. I mean, just.
So you want it to?
I don't know how much they've invested quite a bit of money into this. I feel with 4K and I mean, all these units and everything like that. Sure. I'm sure they expected it to take off. So I'm hoping they'll at least give it a year. With Google Hangouts, Google Plus, which was quietly dropped, I'm really worrying if they're going to slowly kind of drop this whole project because they know it's not going to do well because they don't know what they're doing or they don't care. The issue is they need to start caring, and if they start caring, then they'll know what to do from there. I mean, you have to do this step by step. You can't just throw it out there, expect everyone to buy it, and then say, "Oh, we're gonna come up with a gimmick later." It's like, no, you need a gimmick off the bat.
Yeah, I think it will survive a year, mostly because the gaming community is very vocal.
Yes,
we, have opinions, usually strong opinions,
very strong
and we make
opinions.
them known. So maybe with some constructive criticism, I mean, Google has money. They can fix this easily.
Money is it's the root of all evil, as we're seeing here, but it can solve pretty much all problems.
Yeah.
So, Google, just get your head in the game. I would be willing to pick this up. If you can deliver on the 4K 60 FPS, I will make it work.
That'd be good.
I mean, I'll have to beef up the internet a bit, but again, like, show us some exclusives. Show us kind of some incentives. I don't know if the whole $10 a month is necessary.
Yeah.
If you can't download the games, I kind of tweak that a bit. Maybe $5. Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to lower it now. I don't know of any companies that lower subscription services. But throw us more features in them. Come on.
Yeah, only a limited amount of games right now too. It's like, I'm not sure.
Anyway.